a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications option. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatterspodcast1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices. I took what I had sworn. Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. But you know, they wouldn't let you have it any other way. Stepping back from what you like, the past just pulls you back in again. Save me from myself, it just carries on. Just carries on.
Good evening, welcome along to NUFC Matters. It is the Fans Forum on Monday the 8th of December, the day that John Lennon was taken from us, of course. Never goes amiss to music fans. And also a day when we say happy birthday to Les Ferdinand, to Terry McDermott and to Darren, Mr. Negativity. Happy birthday, Darren.
Happy birthday, Darren. Thank you.
And congratulations must go out as well. Thanks to Jules for pointing this out. To Miggy Almiron, our former player who finally got married. And here's one of his kids doing the honours down the aisle. Ring security. Love that picture. Miggy's sharing them on his social media this week. But congratulations to Miggy. A great little player for us over the years and never forgotten amongst
Good
the two.
servant.
Yeah, good servant. Although people don't like people saying good servant now, apparently. Apparently that's frowned upon, isn't everything
No.
in this woke world we live in?
I don't, mate. I'm old enough to be frowned upon and don't give a sod.
Yes, we know that, George. We know that. Anyway, let's look back at the game against Burnley. I do sometimes eavesdrop on the lads before I come on, and I know what some of them already think of this game. My opinion, look, a win's a win. Newcastle won. They kept their league run going. Everton was a fantastic result. Man City was a great result. Spurs, we should have won. We didn't. And Burnley, we won when Burnley could count themselves unlucky not to get something out of it in the dying embers of the game. But the bottom line is, out of the last 4 games, we've got 3 great wins and we've got a point. And you would have took those points when you looked at those fixtures coming up the way we were playing. So Newcastle have got to run together. They're a point behind Sunderland going into the derby. Got a Champions League game on Wednesday, and we've got a quarter-final of the Carabao Cup coming up, of course, in due course. Plenty games to look ahead to. Plenty things to be excited about. But look, Darren, I did overhear you when I was getting ready for the show, and I've got to be honest, it wasn't the greatest of games against Burnley. You've got to give Burnley a bit of credit, though. Scott Parker said in his interview after the match, that is the best Burnley have played all season. There's no guarantee when you play a team at the bottom, you're going to come up against the team that played the same, played badly the previous weeks. Burnley have given a good account of themselves at the weekend. Newcastle have come away with the 3 points. But go on, give us your views, Darren.
Yeah, I probably agree. Burnley, I thought Burnley had some sort of goal, didn't it? I said that, like George, I said to say that George Ramsey was a bit dodgy in play. Come for the crosses a couple of times. Didn't control his box. But that's credit to Burnley. I thought Burnley put good crosses in the corners, didn't they? They were well whipping the ball in, and they were good delivery. They didn't really. I thought they didn't know if they put under pressure, but I think we let them play, to be fair, because it was one of the board's game I've watched Newcastle in a long time. At half time we were saying how we win 2-0. It was baffling us. Again, I question Eddie Howe, why is he playing down by left back? To me, I don't think he's allowed to drop him. I know somebody said he's managing in Lewis Hall's game time or thing, but I'd rather see Lewis Hall start and then bring Danburn in the second half on. So again, I do question Eddie Howe. He mustn't be allowed to drop Danburn. But I know that did really good service, but he's not a left back. As soon as Lewis Hall comes on, he's in the right positions straight away. So, but that. But one, like you say, a win's a win. You'll take it all day long. We didn't get beat. Only been on a good run. Unfortunately, Tottenham, we should have won, but we didn't. How 6 players watch a ball go past them baffles me, that. But we've been on a good run. Leverkusen on Wednesday, and then NUFC Derby on Sunday. So it's a big week for us. Next 2 games.
Blue Rhythm Boy would like to know what your comments are on Arnie Slot saying they don't have a Jacob Murphy at Liverpool for Alexander Isak.
It just shows how shit his manager is, isn't
it? Jules, you are right. Lewis Hall had been ill during the week, and that was why Dan Burn had to play. We don't have many options at left back. But yes, Jules, you are right. That was the situation. And of course, Hall did get a bit of cramp against Tottenham as well. But he's got to rotate the squad, is what I'll say. He has to rotate the squad. And you know, we do need cover at full back. You can't play Dan Burn forever. I think we all feel that Dan Burn still got legs in him to play centre half, but not at left back. But he'll do a job for you in there if he's got to. So fair play to him for that. George, we saw you on Saturday, but yeah, it was 3 points in the bag. I got my prediction right, George. There was a few people thinking 3s and 4s. My prediction was 2-1. I was on the money.
Well, I think I was 3-0 because that's what I expected, but I knew we had to rotate. I knew there would be a slightly different team. I've got to say, I'm glad you mentioned Scott Parker because for the first half hour, Scott Parker outthought Eddie Howe. I expected, like a lot of people, that Burnley would be 10 men behind the ball and not want to give it away and just defend in depth. In fact, he did the opposite. He did an old-fashioned trick, is that you defend from the front, and he played a full 5 forward line against our back 4 / back 5 to keep the ball occupied. And the net result was, for half an hour, Burnley were going through like there was nobody there. They could easily, in that first half hour, have gone 2 up. The number of 1-to-1s there were against us was enormous. And against a better team, we really would have been in trouble, and that's got to give Scott Parker credit for thinking that out, because it did give a lot to think about. And eventually, when we did think about it, things started to go our way, and so some of it with a little bit of luck. The other thing that I think for me was solved was that. At the end of the day, we've seen what we've got, and I'm sorry, lads, but we need a goalkeeper. It's as simple as that for me. I've never seen so many corners whiz across the penalty area, our penalty area, without anybody, goalkeeper or defenders, getting a touch on it from side to side, and that's not good. That's not good. That suggests that somebody's not doing that job somewhere. So yeah, and. It's good to see that Gordon's still got his pace. When Gordon accelerates like he can, he's way out in front. He's the best. And what was also interesting is that when Hall came on instead of Byrne, of course, Gordon got more of the ball. And because there was somebody playing with him, Gordon became even more and more dangerous, which was incredible, which was good to watch, and so on. I thought Elanga showed again a slight improvement and looking quite dangerous. It was good to see Wissa get on the pitch towards the end, and to see how happy he was. I thought his post-match interview was brilliant. And talking about Elanga, now that he's got his new baby, I suspect we might see a different Elanga in the next couple of weeks because, moving house, all that big money deal and first baby, that's a lot for any human being to carry. So I'm looking forward to that. It was interesting to see Malik Chow and others under a bit of pressure in that first half, and you wondered if they would cope, but they did. But as I said, there were a few times we were 1-1, which could have resulted in disaster for us. And then to go a whole half without troubling their goalkeeper really, again says too much for me. We seem to go into our shell at a time when we could be quite expansive and we weren't. And the net result was, of course, we ended up having to hang on in the last 5 minutes again, which was crazy against 10 men. And even against 11 men, it would have been crazy in the amount of possession and so on that we had. So it was a game that was slightly frustrating. A game that did teach me one or two things. Like I say, for me, it's taught me that we definitely need a goalkeeper. Faltamada needs a rest. He's the amount of running he's done since he came from the Bundesliga, which is nothing like as pace as our league. It begins to show a little bit, and I think that his link-up play is still incredible for me, but he looks like he needs a rest. Maybe he'll get now that Wiffer's able to go onto the pitch. Tino Livramento just gets better as the season goes on. Rarely puts a foot wrong, and some of his play down the side with Elanga was classic, and some of his crosses as well. So all in all, the win's the important thing, as you said, Steve. I have to say, people are saying, well, the next 3 games are vital. I remember sitting here a few weeks ago, and everybody was saying, well, Manchester City's vital, Tottenham's vital, this is vital. And out of all those games, I think we've got double the points most people thought we would have had in those games. So we're not doing so bad. We just got to keep it together and hope that come January we can get 1 or 2 additions to the squad to make it even deeper than it is. But not downhearted at all. We got the win. We got several wins, and up's the only direction for us now.
Okay, good stuff. Good evening, Jeff.
Good evening, guys, girls.
Over to you, Jeff.
Right, over to me. Well, I enjoyed the game. It was, again, it was not available in England again. It's one of those strange things. It turns out to be available in the NBC universe, apparently. Quite a large concept. And I had to watch it over the border from Canada again. Yes. Well, what did we learn? Our pressing has intent, and that's the thing about the way football is played with pressing these days, which is, I think, is the key feature of our game, is this high press. Scotty Parker did it back to us, which was fun. And as has already been pointed out, he attacked us. What's curious about this is that it breaks all the rules we used to have, and I enjoy watching it. And I was watching, seeing Scott Parker past master. We used to watch him circling in the centre of the pitch, showing balance and panacing square at the Temple on the Hill. He was quite something. We enjoyed that. So what else did I want to talk about? Volarama, I do like him. He takes up very unusual positions. He's heading away corners and free kicks and stuff, and then getting back in position really quickly. We put ourselves back in position with tremendous speed. There's no this jogging around the pitch stuff. Everybody goes at a hell of a lick. And again, formation is very fluid. And there were lots of shots on goal. Young Gordon is not exactly shot shy, is he? There was bits pinging off the woodwork and all sorts. And of course, Bruno has his traditional punt into the crowd. I don't know what he's going for. I would actually like to sort of think about more about someone like Mo Salah's turned up, by the way, while we're being rude about other players. Now, what's curious about Mo Salah is he's a Gemini with the moon in Sagittarius, which is traditionally what I would have thought of as a footballing sign. But as a sportsman, but particularly as an archaeologist, his birth sign in Egyptian astrology is Seth, which you all know from your Ladybird book of Egyptian gods, is the god of chaos and violence. So that's bye-bye to Mo Salah, as far as I can see. I don't think he's got much of a future in our game anyway. Yes, I would like to sort of draw a fact that it's going to be Christmas soon, and get some stuff about Christmas in now, because you remember it's about God and Jar, as we call him, and to remember the important thing that Jesus died on Black Friday, and tax the rich, feed the poor till there ain't no rich no more, as I think King Herod said originally. And I like to buy people inappropriate presents, by the way. So if you get one from me, you might get a shock. So, if you've got someone in a wheelchair, buy them a pedometer. And there's lots of Sports Direct mugs still out there for everyone who likes that sort of thing. And it occurred to me that we could still get our Christmas song to #1. Though today, I think any Scots wood these days would now mostly have deteriorated and be used for dogging. Latest update is I asked her that Adam P had been sold in Tangiers and was heading to Germany in the back of a cattle wagon. Right, and that's all I've got to say.
We don't endorse any criticism of any other YouTubers, including Adam P, but what we do is encourage dogs to get on the sofa. Where is he? Rex? Ta-da!
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, Rex. And Jeff, your taxi's on its way.
Right, thank you very much, my friend. I've still got a story to tell you guys, and I might tell you it one day.
Okay, moving on, Magnus. Moving on. What did you make of the game?
Yes. With regards to the game, I agree. I mean, I'd like to single out 3 players that I thought were sensational. I mean, Anthony Gordon led the line, and he was dragging everybody forward. I think we were seeing glimpses of the way he played a couple of seasons ago. And if that is the case, then I can't wait for him to just get a 1 goal, maybe from an open play, because hitting the woodwork twice, and I think he has 6 goals in all competitions. So he's only 1 or 2 goals behind Harvey Barnes, if we count everything. So really glad to see him hitting form again. And I mean, I think this was a tough game. It could have ended up being a stalemate draw or something if it wasn't for these set pieces that we did sensationally. I mean, I had 20th goal in the Premier League straight from corner. It was a beautiful kick, and I think Bruno's leadership has really shown, and he is taking a step forward. He's getting more experienced. I think he's becoming a proper leader this season, and I'm really enjoying to watch that. And then the third player I'd like to single out. I did say in the beginning of the season that Ramsdale would probably be our number one by Christmas. Now I didn't think it was going to happen this way, but I do feel the whole team is more comfortable with him between the sticks, and he's just great in his feet. And I know he does mistakes. He's still working his way into the team. But I feel a lot more comfortable defensively with him on the pitch these days. And then, if we just look at the league, 10 points it wasn't really the most beautiful. The last two games, we should have won Spurs, but we still get 4 points out of those two games that weren't fantastic. It doesn't always have to be pretty, but 10 points out of the last 12. I think is something to be optimistic for the next game. Rotation is looking different. It's starting to look a little bit more like what Pep Guardiola does. And if it's not costing us points and everybody's taking on more responsibility, then that has to be a good thing.
Okay, bit of positivity there from Magnus. Al-Walid, what did you make of the game at the weekend against Burnley, the 2-1 win?
Well done to Newcastle. Great result. Not care much about the performance, which I think it was okay. It was fine. Now, as you said, lads, it's optimistic because when you see the table, you see we are not that far from top 4. And maybe we can go to top 4 with the beginning of the new year. So this is really great. And for Ramsdale, I think he needs more games because he was away for a while from consistency. So now usually with time I noticed that always the seasons before the one before World Cup, usually it's like you can have good grab of the points and champions because the teams, the competitive teams who has the most starting lineup, they are worried about the World Cup. They try to avoid injury. They are not playing 100%. So I believe this is good for us. So we can really get a title and qualifying to Champions League, inshallah, next season.
Fingers crossed. Yes, let's hope so. Pablo.
Yeah. Good comments, good points. I think ultimately where we are kind of within the league or where we are as a club at the minute, we've obviously had an upturn past 4 games, but I think borrowing and stealing 3 points is still critical. We're still aiming for a loftier position in the league, the Champions League. I think Eddie, when he picked the team, has obviously got probably a bigger eye on the Leverkusen game. And I think if there's a couple of games in the Premier League where you would, as a manager, maybe look to rotate, you'd probably highlight teams like Burnley and Wolves straight off the bat because these players do need minutes in the legs. I think the Burnley game, great credit to Burnley. They come out and probably out of the two sides, they executed their game plan probably a lot better than ours. But I think when, after the first 10 minutes settled down, we kind of found our feet. Don't forget that, there were changes in the team. We could have got 2 or 3 more maybe. It didn't pan out. And I think with Burnley going down to 10 men, the only thing that maybe looks a little bit unconvincing is the fact that when a team goes down to 10 men, you automatically, as a football fan, assume that your team's going to go and pummel them. But I think with the level that them lads play at, and Kev will tell you more, there's that much emphasis, and these lads train on these situations, 10 versus 11s on both sides. So massive credit to Burnley. I think with probably what I would say is with the Ramsdale stuff, and I've got to say it because I chirp on about it every week. It's almost like I'm married to him to a certain degree. Is the fact that we've given Nick Pope seasons, to kind of find his feet, unravel, making countless mistakes and errors. So I think it's a little bit unfair maybe to probably highlight Ramsdale just this early on. Yes, he didn't have probably his finest game, but I would agree with Magnus. I feel more comfortable when the ball's actually at his feet. I think probably is what had 3 or 4 games, 5 games maximum for us this year. So I think we've just got to be a little bit patient with him. Don't get me wrong. If it continues, we look at that in the summer. But I think overall, we've got to be pleased. We are 3 points going into a derby game. Like I said, I wouldn't diss Eddie too much. Yes, he probably got a couple of things wrong. It was nice. George highlighted Alanga. It's nice to see Alanga apply himself a little bit more, or certainly look like he's applying himself a bit more. And other than that, mate, what can we say? Yes, we would have wished it would have been a 5-1 win against 10 men, but the Premier League doesn't always give you that. So yeah, we just move on to Leverkusen, and see where we go from there.
Yes, Adam, you were at the game at the weekend. You weren't too far away from Mozza as well, who's in the chat.
Yeah, it was a nice to be sat just in the same row as Mozza, and then obviously yourself was just a few rows back. It was also nice to ring me dad after seeing the Man City score and singing Blue Moon to him and to as well. So it's always nice. So when the bit of sky blue today, so he's back in his place. What I said to Steve in the pub beforehand was I thought Burnley were going to start quick. Don't know why. I just think with Newcastle United, it's always been we've got to always look at the results against the bottom 6 teams because they always trip up. I think when we're playing someone in the top 6, we'll bring it out. We're fine. We'll come out flying. But it's them bottom 6 teams, doesn't matter who it is and what season, we'll always seem to struggle against them and they seem to trip up. I think the saying is death taxes in Newcastle United concede late on in a game as well. There's your 3 guarantees in life. And it doesn't make it an easy watch as a supporter. Like, that should have been a game that was comfortable on Saturday. And again, it's like we're starting to shoot ourselves in the foot as soon as it gets to the 85-minute mark. Mm-hmm. Is it panic stations? Is it lack of concentration? Is it, don't know. It's something that needs tightened up. And I think Eddie Howe's, I think it was maybe in a couple of weeks ago, he addressed that. So at least I know it's something they're looking at, but it does need improved. Following up what Pablo was just saying there about Ramsdale, I'm the same. I feel so much more confident with Ramsdale in goal, just for the pure fact that he's a sweeper keeper. He can use his feet. I think coming for crosses and things like that, yes, you expect it from a goalkeeper to be able to command his box, come out and be able to kind of clear the ball with his fist or be able to collect the ball and kind of slow play down. I think it's an adjustment period for Ramsdale as well. You got to think he's been sitting on the bench, kind of gathering dust for the past few weeks. So it is that bit of confidence. It's getting into the swing of it. But for me, we still need a number 1 keeper. And it'll not be January that we'll get one. It's going to have to be the summer. I don't think Ramsdale is the long-term answer. Neither has Nick Pope. So they will have to look at it. Standout-wise, I think Anthony Gordon and Malik Chow is normal. Anthony Gordon's shown bursts of what he can do in an England shirt. He's kind of replicated for us, where he's turning defenders, pivoting, trying to get away early. Malik Chow just being that Rolls Royce in defence as usual. Me biggest thing was Alanga. I know a couple of guys have mentioned him. I think he's just waiting for that one spark to happen. Then it's going to click, and he'll be that star signing that we all thought he was going to be. No one was down in the dumps when we said we signed Alanga, so we all know what player he can be. I think that spark just needs to happen. But my biggest frustration was Joe Willock. 1 minute he's doing something absolutely fantastic, and the next minute you think, what are you doing? I think that shows the inconsistencies that are still left in Newcastle United squad. There was 1 minute he's tracking back, he's getting his body behind the ball and closing down. He wins the ball back and then kind of past 5 yards. It's just, I think there's the few inconsistencies that are still left in Newcastle United squad. Like a few lads have said as well, Wissa getting on was a nice moment as well. Obviously, you can tell he is buzzing to be playing. I just hope he hasn't had a purple patch season at Brentford, which I think it's shown with Mbeumo at Man United. I hope he can come in and kind of make that change from pressing from the front, doing the job that Walter Mara can't exactly do. He's not going to come and start banging goals straight away, but if he can start leading that press from the start, then I think we're a winner. And like I think it might have been Darren or George mentioned earlier, you've got Villa and Arsenal at the top, who are the consistent two teams. Everyone else is just battling it out. See who can finish top 4. Do I personally think we'll get there? No. I'll be delighted if we get top 8 with all the competitions we're still playing in. But it's a league where anyone can beat anyone. So I suppose that's what makes it exciting.
Yep, certainly does. Kev, good evening. What's your feelings about the match of the weekend?
Well, afternoon for a start. It's not evening here yet. Not quite.
You're outnumbered.
I know. Right? I need Tom on to say give us a bit of support. To be honest, I thought it was negative. I thought it was a poor display overall. I thought we played into Burnley's hands, which you've got to give credit to Burnley in the way they played and set up. And I watched it with my 15-year-old son. We asked the question of each other, what would you do? What's the difference? What's going on here? And I just, have that banter like you would in a stand, but we have it on in front of the telly. And that once we moved the ball quickly in the final third, in certain areas of the park, we ripped them open. That's how we got the 2 goals. The movement of the ball was slow. The intent to go forward was methodical. The only way they scored was a penalty, but that's another. I'll get onto that in a minute. But again, I just thought it was a bit naive from our perspective. I thought we could have really got after them. Yes, they turned us around. I agree with George in that they turned us around and played from the front and didn't allow us to play out. But again, we didn't react to that. So fair play to them. But again, I just think it was generally negative. But for the most part, the ball movement was, in my opinion, was not great. If you want to be a top-level side, even going into Champions League fixtures, even going against the likes of Burnley, you watch Man City's, whoever, the top echelons of world football, they move the ball quickly against everyone. It doesn't matter who you play against. Again, I said to my son, it's the same size football pitch. Doesn't matter who you play on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning. It's the same. If you move the ball slowly, you'll get found out. If you play quickly and find with good movement, then you're going to find the opposition out, and you're going to find space. You're going to create opportunities. All of the above. So again, I just thought it was a little bit, like Adam said, you play the bottom half of the division, and you just go within. It's pretty much playing introverted. You don't express yourself as much because you do it in that sense. But look, a win's a win in the Premier League. You can't shake that. Your head at that. But for me, it was just pretty negative. It looked flat. It sounded flat. I know. Yeah. So again, that's you can only get motivated as a fan if what you see, your eyes tell you to stand up, sing whatever, and get motivated for the game yourself as a fan. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to get into the Ramsdale thing and the Pope debate, and because I'll have to have a little bit more of an eye test on that one because of certain criteria is what I'll look at and see. And again, he needs to run a games for more of a data sample, essentially. So I'm not getting into that. I thought Anthony Gordon was probably the best player on the park in some respects.
Disagree.
But for me, the 2 lads who come into the central midfield didn't grasp their opportunity when they needed to. And this is what when we say as fans or the media or whoever, rotation's key. This was their opportunity to stamp their authority on that starting 11 or give Eddie Howe a problem to think about when they didn't. I thought Ramsey was indifferent. Joe Willock was Joe Willock. At the end of the day, I think that the squad players and they'll come in again to Burnley, but they have to go and perform, and they didn't go and perform. In my opinion, one of them gave a penalty away.
Can I just say that you said Ramsey and well, my personal opinion, I thought I had a good game. I thought
that's fair enough, but I say with my eyeballs, and I didn't think
I
they
know
played
I'm
well.
saying but but in my opinion, I thought that they've done all right. Ramsdale, it's not getting enough game time. I thought that's
as a pro, if you get your name called into that starting 11, you should be as a requirement. That's your remit to go and perform, regardless of how many games you play. You train every day. You're getting paid all this amount of money, and that's your requirement. Like you go to your job, I would go to my job, and you have a set requirement to go and play as a pro footballer. So that I don't think he done that. I think he was poor. I thought
I disagree with you,
poor decision for the penalty.
I just don't think he's getting enough running games. I don't think Joe Linton's been that good this season, and he's to me.
But he's not taking opportunities though.
He's not getting opportunity though. When are you getting the opportunity? You tell me when.
Every 2 or 3 weeks at once.
And I disagree with you, man, massively on that.
Well, it's like so if we weren't in the Champions League or knocked out the FA Cup or knocked out the Carabao Cup, you'd be getting 1 game a week. So it's exactly the same mindset as 1 game a week.
You can't say Joe Linton every game though, can you? To me, he's not going to run the games. I need to get rid of game first team football.
I wouldn't play Joe Linton. I think Louis Miley's knocking on his door. In my opinion, and now play Louis Miley as a 6 and play Bruno and Tonali in front. That's how I would go. No. But yet again, you don't get the physicality from Louis Miley to Joe Linton. That's a completely different argument. So,
yeah, I think Miley's ahead of. I certainly think Miley's ahead of Willock and Ramsey at the minute. But Ramsey's not played enough games, and I get what SJP Dave's saying in the chat. Ultimately Ramsdale, he hasn't played enough games to be judged yet. You can pick apart goals with goalkeepers. That's the problem. I think what I saw of Ramsdale was that his punching isn't great in those first couple of games that he's played. He's got similar. He's got some things he does better than Pope, but there are some things he does worse than Pope. His distribution and his kicking is certainly a lot better. Overall shot stopping, we haven't seen enough games to judge him yet, so that's where I'll go. And I get where Dave's coming from. The stats are there. Pope's played more games. They would both need to play equal amount of games for anyone to be able to judge and give an honest comment on that. And I'll maintain what I've said all along. Pope's his number 1. Ramsdale's on loan. Ramsdale's not a permanent signing. There's an option to buy, but he's not a permanent signing. And with Newcastle heavily linked with Trafford again in January, I wouldn't be surprised to see Trafford come if they can get him for a decent price. And, I certainly believe that, Eddie Howe sees Trafford as his number 1 moving forward if he can get him in. So, and already he's not at the club, and already people are saying, well, Trafford's not that good. He's getting some stick. He hasn't even pulled a shirt on or signed on the dotted line yet. So it's interesting. Anyway, that's all about opinions. And I can see the moderators are making sure that you all know that in the chat as well. Alan, come to you lastly on the Burnley game.
Well, I think it was a great win, Steve. I knew games like this against the bottom 6 sides are always hard. I agree with the majority of the chat of what's happened. Obviously, being last, a lot of the points have been covered. Elanga, was nice to see that he was involved and he got with a penalty. Ramsey, like I say, if I can put up with Schuler for 10 years and Titus Bramble, I think the fans today are so much quick to judge. How can we judge Ramsey? How can we judge Ramsdale? How can, I remember Bergkamp getting booed off against Arsenal fans in his first year. He was absolutely rubbish first year at Arsenal. And yet he's become one of the legends of the Premier League era when he started to settle down. So I think fans in general, I accept what SJP says, about Ramsdale and Pope and the argument going with that. But I think you've got to give them a good run in the team. I mean, Ramsey might be just a squad player. He might only be that for 40 million. It's a hell of a chunk of money to just be a squad player, though. And the same with Elanga. Overall, so happy. But I agree with Adam. I'm getting worried now in the last 5-10 minutes of games. This is the 5th time we've let a goal. Yes, we didn't lose the game or draw a game. It's the 4th or 5th time we've let a goal in the last 10 minutes, Steve. Massive concern, because make no doubt about it, if we're winning 1-0 at Sunderland with 10 minutes to go, we'll be under immense pressure. So we've got to withstand that. You know, I'm hoping that we'll be a lot further ahead, Steve. But if we're not, I think the one worrying sign, Steve, is as well in the second half being 2-0 up with 10 men. Can we actually break teams down? See, we're all getting beat off Sunderland 1-0 in the second half, and we've got to go on the attack, break them down, because they're a counter-attacking team as well that break fast. You know, I agree with a large amount of what the lads have said. I'm delighted, just delighted with a win, though, Steve, because them are the games that would, you know, we do come a cropper at. Like Adam said, year in, year out, we do come a cropper. You know, Eddie Howe's got them decisions to make to rotate the players. It'll be the same on Wednesday night, the Bayer Leverkusen game. They're fourth in the league, so they'll be a tough nut to crack on Wednesday night. And obviously, dare I say it, if we get on to the Sunderland game, Steve, that's going to be massive, you know, for our season. I do believe we've got a terrible away record, even though we beat Everton 4-1. We must improve that to have any chance. And again, I'm on Adam's side on this, because at the minute, until we get in the top 4, I won't believe we'll be in the top 4 or 5 this season, as though it's wide open, lads, wide open for, you know, between 4th and, you know, to our position. There's 3 points, 4 points in it, and it's anybody's. But overall, Steve, just delighted for the win, Steve, just delighted. But I say to the people in the chat and on the phone, we've got to give people a chance. I just don't see how we can make it. I mean, Trafford, for instance, he had 3 games for Man City. He dropped a couple of parts in them 2 games, Steve. And I'm not surprised fans coming on saying, well, he's not good either. So, you know, where do you go? You know, we probably do, George, need a keeper, except at the end of the year. But we've got to give Ramsdale a go to see if he is good enough forward. But judging by the start of it, he isn't. So we will need a keeper in the summer. But overall, Steve, happy with a win. Move on. 3 massive games coming up in the next week or so, and see what happens from there.
Okay. Obviously, our next game, Alan, is the game against Leverkusen on Wednesday. But we're going to focus in the second half of the show. We'll do the ads at the end on the big game at the weekend. Newcastle taking on Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. A couple of weeks ago, you know, we were in a position where Sunderland could have gone 10 points clear, Alan. I'm going to give you first option at this. They could have gone 10 points clear of us. Now back down to 1. Newcastle beat Sunderland at the weekend to go 2 points above them. And parity will be restored. Normal service will be resumed, however you want to put it. What's your feelings about the derby then? And, you know, we've had some great ones over the years. Sunderland had a bit of a hex on us before. You know, we played our very final game against each other in the Premier League, which I believe was a 1-1 draw. And I think Mitrovic got Newcastle's goal at St James's Park. But yeah, it's a huge game. Already the build-up started. How are you feeling, Alan? Do you enjoy the build-up to the game? And give us your feelings and your prediction about that game.
I love the build-up, me, Steve. So many relatives. John, my brother-in-law, feels sick during the week. He hates the build-up. I love it, mate. I think it's me running background, Steve, because I learned when you were younger, if you get nervous for something that you love, then you're not going to perform. I love the build-up. I love the banter. You know, I think we'll win if we play it right, but don't underestimate Sunderland, and I'm sure we won't. I mean, a lot of the people who aren't looking forward to the Sunderland game, isn't it a fear factor that they think they're better than us? I don't rate them. I don't think they are better than us. They have had a very good start to the season, and they are very quick on the wings, and they've got a solid defence. But the onus is on them, Steve. This time, we could sit back and counter-attack them, and I think we are a good counter-attacking team, and I think Wizard coming back gives them massive options. I think we'll win. I've never predicted we'll ever get beat off Sunderland, and never will in my lifetime. Never, ever. I'm in George's camp here. I'm a deluded fan when it comes to this game. I will never say that they'll beat us. And in my lifetime, I think they've only had a better team than us, maybe once. in my lifetime. But never mind. I think we'll win 2-1, Steve. I think it'll be a hard-fought win. I think it'll be blood and thunder, but I think we'll win 2-1.
Do you think it's important for us that we've, a lot of our team have experienced this game? A lot of their players won't. They've got virtually an entirely new team. There are players in the squad, of course, and there are some local players in the squad, but predominantly it's a brand new team, and they haven't experienced this atmosphere. Whereas Newcastle have got a dressing room full of players who played in the FA Cup match, of course, and players who played in big games, and they're used to playing in the Champions League at some fairly noisy and intimidating places. You just have to look back at Marseille.
It's the key, Steve. Jack is the key for them. If we nullify him, then I think we'll dominate that midfield. But he's their playmaker, and he's the one that will cause us more problems than anybody else, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, pity he didn't get booked at the weekend, and they brutally took him off. The FA Cup draw started. Wolves will take on Shrewsbury. I'll keep an eye out for Newcastle's name coming out. Kevin, the derby, big match. Love it. I do love this. I do love the week.
Yeah, that's what football's all about. Playing a local rival, and if you can't get up for this, you can't get up for anything, really. I'm not. Unfortunately, obviously, I'm an expat, and I can't relive certain memories that I have of the derby week and all that goes with that. And that's one thing you genuinely do miss when you move away from home. But I've watched. Well, I don't know if it's an unfortunate thing or a fortunate thing. I've watched a lot of Sunderland because I get all the TV games. I get them all, so I watch them. And people say, "Why you watch them?" Because I want to see what they're like. I want to know what they're about, and basically they'll work hard. They'll kick lumps out of you. They'll drop in as a low block, send the ball over the top, try and win. Pretty much what Burnley done this past weekend. That's what they'll do. But they've got a bit more pace. They've got a bit more physicality. And I agree with Alan. If we nullify the crowd, if we win that midfield battle, if we win individual duels across the field, with the experience, what you said, and I totally agree with that, that plays a big part in it, especially these types of games. If we take that emotion and the emotive nature out of it,
yes,
then we have a very, very good chance in being successful in this game. Again, it's a derby. You just never know what's going to happen. Probably closer the better, but at the same time, I don't know if anybody's heart rate could probably take that. But I'm positive going into it. Yes, we're on a good run. Yes, performances might not dictate that, but at the same time, like Magnus said, what was it, 10 from 12 in league form. So I'll go with a nail biter. I'll go 1-0.
1-0, free kick over the wall. That'll do.
Anybody will do.
Adam.
That'll be us. Kevin, that'll be us. I'd be shooting off in the factory when we won that game.
Brilliant. Adam, the derby, it's on the horizon. You've got family battles going on with this one.
It'll dictate what I taught my dad for the next few weeks, I tell you. I think when it comes to a derby, it doesn't matter what level you're at, whether it's academy football or when it goes to the pros, form means and out. I think you kind of overanalyze both teams. Yes, when you look at the squads, Newcastle's squad is better. There's no doubt about it. Sunderland's probably hit their dodgy bit of form at the right time for us, and we're building momentum at the right time. So that's one thing you can take into it. I think when you look at our players, like you said before, Steve, they've played in those occasions where when it comes to where you have to be right on the night, they are being right on the night. Hence the cup final, hence when we beat Sunderland the last time, albeit, yes, it was a League One squad playing in the Championship, but the players know how to do those big matches. I think Sunderland are going to start very quick, because they'll have the home support behind them. I think they'll press forward. They'll be a million miles an hour. And if Newcastle can weather that for the first 5-10 minutes, I can see we're growing into the game and it being a very good game. For the neutral, it'll be an absolute belter. For us lads watching at home or who's going to the stadium, they'll need some defibs on starting by to make sure that we all get I'm going to go with my head, and I'm going to say a 1-1 draw, and I don't think we can be angry at that.
Okay. 1-1 draw from Adam. FA Cup draw still on. Some notable games. Charlton play Chelsea, Wrexham, Nottingham Forest, Man City, Exeter City, West Ham, QPR, Fulham versus Middlesbrough, just out of the hat now. Pablo.
Tough one, isn't it? It's I think we've all been shocked how kind of well they've done, which is horrible to see from any side. But
Everton versus Sunderland, FA Cup draw.
Come on,
Go
Everton. Do you know what? I don't like them both. Can they both lose?
I'm the same, probably. I'm the same.
Cancel them both. Yeah, back to Sunderland. Yeah, Adam's hit the nail on the head. You know, when you look at it, we do have better players, we do have better squad, etc., etc. I think with a derby's always going to be blood and thunder, and I think as fans we expect to see that big ruckus in midfield and bash your way to a victory. But I think on this one, I think like the saying is, the coolest head in the room wins the argument. I think that's what will happen, or that's how I perceive that we'll beat them. Sunderland will come out like absolute rabid dogs, I've no doubt. But it's a case of how we absorb that pressure, in my view, in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then we go about resting into our game, and then we impose ourselves on them. I think the beauty is that little shit 09. I think he was sent off against City, so I don't think he'll play. He usually whips them up into a frenzy. I think Xhaka is good, but you know what? He's not that good. You know, he's what, 32, 33? So I think our midfield, I think the game will be won in midfield, and it's a case of our lads. If Joe Linton's going to play, we know how it's going to play out. It's going to end up in a right old wrestle and a tussle. So I think the key is keeping cool heads, allowing us to move into our game, and then hopefully we'll sneak it. I think it will be tight, probably 2-1.
Okay, Al-Walid. I think since we connected, we have had the derby in the FA Cup, so you know a little bit about it. But yes, it's a big game. What's your feelings about this game at the weekend?
Of course, we're waiting this game since long time. I mean, in the Premier League. Forget in this game, you forget the Champions League, you forget the Premier League. You just have to win this game. I'm very optimistic. I feel it's going to be 4-1 win for Newcastle, and I think it's going to be a game that we talk about a lot in this Christmas.
Prediction?
Yeah, 4-1. Newcastle.
4-1. Okay, wow. Chopra can't score in that game. Magnus, coming to you. Boreham Wood have just come out of the hat, and they will face...
What was that?
Brackley Town or Burton Albion. So that means another one of the minnows is going to go through into the fourth round, which is a fascinating tie. Okay, Magnus, yes, Sunderland.
Yeah, I mean, I have a sensation in my stomach that is similar to cup fever. You know, this is huge. I think it's been 8 years or something since we last meet them in the league, and this is for me the biggest derby in the world. There's no questioning that, and at least in my world, that's for sure. I mean. I think we can never fear them. People have talked a lot about their physicality. Well, guess what? We are the only team that has got enough physicality to meet that. And I think we're a little bit unlucky because they have a lot of players leaving next week. But we wanted to meet their best team anyway and show them that we are still a lot better team. And I remember you saying a little while ago, Steve, yourself, even with a few weeks to go, that we would be in and around the same place as them. Little did we know, it was true. It was true. We will smash them 3-1. No issues. And it's going to be a joyous occasion. And we'll put them a little bit in their place. And yeah, it's going to be a great day.
Prediction, Magnus?
3-1 to us.
3-1. Okay, Newcastle will play Bournemouth at home in the third round of the FA Cup. Tough game. Eddie Howe's former team, of course. But yes, a home draw. You fancy anybody at home, to be perfectly honest. It could have been a lot worse. So, yeah, good draw for Newcastle, but that will be played in January. Jeff, the Sunderland game.
Well, it's the first fixture, isn't it? It's the one you look up first when it comes out. I wanted to point out spookily, one thing about the game against Burnley is that it was our 97th match against them at this level, and they were sponsored by 97. Spooky. I'm not sure what was going on then. Well, I expect a tic-tac-toe battle. By 3-0 against Bayer Leverkusen, Leverkusen, and 3-0 in the Stadium of Plight. And by and large, I ignore the manager, the lineups, the pundits, the game, communicating on every level, because what's important is my fans forum prediction at the end of the day, isn't it? Right? And it's 3-0 and 3-0, and one day we'll get it. And by the way, Alan, have you enjoyed watching HMS Bazball sink, being torpedoed by the penal colony?
I have, Jeff. I have.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Never mind. It's all fall in love and war, isn't it?
Thanks, Jeff.
5-0 incoming, Jeff.
Incoming what?
George.
Sorry, I wasn't bitten by a bat, so I don't know what's going to happen next. Right, back to Steve.
Go on, George. Give us your views on the Sunderland game. We'll get your prediction, of course, at the weekend, but give us your views on the Sunderland game. You looking forward to it, George? Do you panic about this game?
No, not panic. I look forward to it. It's always been a great thing, and the one thing that comes to mind for me when I talk about the derby is that I got within minutes of actually going on the pitch for the Newcastle Hens against Sunderland in the Northern Intermediate League. One of the regulars in the team had turned up and he'd been sick, and they were making their minds up whether he could play and whether somebody else could play, and that somebody else was me. And the dirty sod went on, and I didn't get a kick. So, and I wish him well if he's still alive. Anyway, it's something I enjoy. Look forward to. It's a lot of nervous tension, of course, because some of the lads have said it. This isn't a normal game by any stretch of the imagination. League form and everything else goes out the window. But what doesn't go out of the window is experience of something like the derby game. And on that side, we massively have a plus. You know, the managers never experienced the derby game, and quite a lot of their players haven't either, where ours have. And it's just that one step up of ferocity and everything else that goes with it. And we have that in spades. And I'm not worried. I'm just wanting to get on with the game. It isn't coming quick enough for me. That's the issue for me. So I think it'll be a great game, which will be 100 miles an hour, blood and thunder, and I fully expect that Joe Linton and Grant Xhaka will both be sent off.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's going to be one of them. It's going to be one of them games, George. There's definitely going to be a few red cards.
Yeah.
It will definitely be one of those games. We will wait and see, though, of course. Okay, Darren, over to you, mate. Just give us your views on the derby. Do you look forward to them, or are you having sleepless nights, mate?
I'm so looking forward to it, but just come the Saturday, I'll be probably nervous, and it's a big, it's an old form out the wind is, and already the Mackems get already texting us through the week, already started, we're going to hammer years as 3s and 4s. I haven't replied, so I'll reply and hopefully we'll beat them 2-1. So I'll just give them their little glory at the minute. I think they're going to beat us, but hopefully we'll win and we'll go above them. Like you say, normal service will resume. I just want to shut the. I'm not going to swear. Yeah. I just want to shut the. I can imagine what I want to say. Shut them up, and just hopefully we'll beat the twats. You know what I mean?
What's your prediction, Darren? What's your prediction?
2-1 win. I do think it'll be a red card in the game for Newcastle. Joe Litton, Sandro.
Yeah, worrying a bit there. Jeff's got the toilet roll out already, and it's only Monday. Unless he's thinking about throwing it around his living room for Rex, I'm not sure. We'll just get a prediction, lads, for Leverkusen. Tough game, but I do think we can get something out there. I'm gonna go for a draw in Leverkusen. I do think we'll get a draw. We seem to be scoring goals. We might not be as fluent as we have been in the past, but an away game at Everton where we managed to get 4, it gave me a bit of confidence. I'm going to go 2-2 at Leverkusen. Darren, what about you?
1-1.
1-1. George?
2-1 to us.
2-1 to Newcastle. We've got 3-0 already off Jeff.
3-0.
3-0, yeah. What about you, Magnus?
0-1 to us since that the draws are out. We're going to win.
Yeah, okay, 1-0. Alba lead?
1-1.
1-1. Pablo?
I'm going to follow suit. 1-1. Tough.
Okay, Adam, you're nodding your head. 1-1 as well?
Yeah, 1-1, yeah.
Okay, Kevin?
I'll go with you, 2-2.
2-2. Alan, last but by no means least.
2-1 to us.
2-1 to us. Fantastic fans forum, as always, full of opinions. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to all the lads as well. I'm back in the morning because I'm off to Germany tomorrow afternoon. So I will be on in the morning sometime, probably around about 11 o'clock. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your birthday, Darren. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Cheers, lads.
Good night, everybody. Good to see you, lads. Good to
A big thanks to our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them, www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. Their website, mrvickies.co.uk. Email info@mrvickies.co.uk. Telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. They've just announced their 2026 tours. 2 crew, driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels, no interchanges, hot, cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Website is unitedgrouptravel.com. Email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com. Telephone 01670 632 460 or mobile 0791 666 4174. It's just £30 per person deposit. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. If you enjoy listening to the podcast, you can try us on Sports Social, and that is Sports Social Podcast Network. You can also catch us on iTunes or Spotify or wherever else you listen to your podcasts. Big thanks as well to Media Arts for all the technical side of things. If you want to become a member, you can join as a YouTube member by hitting the join button underneath the video. Don't forget as well, subscribe to the channel. It's free. We still do 7 shows a week. Hit the like button, which is the thumb up, and share to your other social media. If you'd like a badge, a pen, a key ring, and a coaster and a membership card, then you just need to go to our website, nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk, and you can become a member of NUFC Matters via the link on our website. Got a couple of events to tell you about. Beardsley, Waddle and Gascoigne are together at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House. That is the 13th of February 2026. Gibbo is comparing. You can get your tickets from the box office at the theatre or give them a ring on 0191 243 1171. In January, Supermac and Gibbo are teaming up together at the Tyneside Irish Centre to raise money for the North Tyneside Age UK Dementia sector. And your tickets are £19 from voucher, or you can buy them direct from the website, nufcmatters.co.uk. Peter Beardsley will be with Joe Allen on the 30th of January, again for Age UK North Tyneside Dementia. And tickets are available for £29 on voucher or from nufcmatters.co.uk. We're also raising money for Age UK North Tyneside Dementia with another Blake 7 convention, Saturday the 1st of August, 10 till 4. Tickets are £20 for standard, £75 for VIP, and you can get them again from our website. And a couple of stocking fillers for Christmas. The Entertainers by Will Scott. We've got 10 copies signed by Warren Barton, again from the website. My book, The Promoter and the Photographer, written by myself and Andy Thompson, all proceeds going to the dementia sector of Age UK North Tyneside. You can get them again from www.nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk.